everyone, Ekon here from the Foundation server, coming to you with another video. This time, something a little bit special, a little bit more rare. It's the USS Enterprise reveal, if you haven't noticed already. So this is obviously something that's been a major goal for me, a major milestone. Don't care how strong it is, don't care what it does right now, what happens at tier 1, will I be able to tier it up? Is this going to cost me an arm and a leg to do so? But ultimately, this is just something that I think deep down inside we've all, whether we've gone Romulan or Klingon or Federation, this is something that kind of drives us. You know, it's something we've all grown up with. The captains, the USS Enterprise, intrinsically linked to the, to the whole brand, to the whole universe, to everything that is Star Trek, really. So, you know, this is just something that I'm extremely proud of, and I'm happy that I could finally kind of see it there in my dockyard and finally capture that reveal video. I have to say, I was so nervous when that reveal video was coming out. If someone messaged me or something during that time, I was doing it on mobile, which is probably a bad thing. But yeah, so glad that that kind of worked out well. So what does it look like coming right out the bag? What's it going to take to tier it up? Why don't I just take you through one tier and show you what happens? Because I did have a couple of surprises there where, weaponry and whatnot went down in power when I upgraded. So I don't know if that's a Scopely bug. I'm pretty sure it is, but that's just, it's almost like such a bittersweet thing. You finally get the Enterprise, you've got a little bit of resources, and you're going to tier it up, and it loses power. So it was a little bit painful to watch, but nevertheless, let me take you through it. I will take you through the main thing here, which is the, so here it is basically, this is just right out the bag, is $4.99, obviously affected by research and everything. So whether you've got Federation repair or whatever, morale does boost it, so 5%. You saw there it boosted it by, each time the ship got morale, you basically have a regeneration of the shields. So obviously you want Kirk on there because the longer the morale is there each round, the better. Obviously I've geared it up with the Enterprise crew. I don't know if that is best or not. And you can see here, this is the, basically all the stats coming right out the bag it's not too bad. I mean, it's some might argue like, oh, that's, for the Enterprise, that's not that great. But you have to remember, it's tier 1. There's probably 9 tiers. It's probably going to cost like $2 billion in tritanium, which is only achievable if you mortgage your house or refinance or something. So, so it's going to be difficult. A lot of people do say, this is a pay to win Enterprise. But look, I mean, you can probably take a couple of years to get it. Don't be dispirited by that. I've been playing for a year and a half, almost 2 years, really. So it does take a long time if you don't really want to pay the full way, but it is still somewhat achievable, and it is epic class. So a lot of things are going to change between now and then. So you can see the max damage here. There's kinetic, there's 2 kinetic and 1 energy, I believe. Photon torpedoes there. The first bank there, 5.6k damage, armor piercing. Everything's pretty standard. 1111 and 150 is pretty standard. This is Disruptor Bank, I believe, is energy. Sorry, it's flicking through that. I don't know why that's happening. But the 1111 for, I'm just going to talk to it whilst the video keeps going. So 1111 for the first 2 kinetic-based weaponry, and the third is the energy, which is 222. So it fires off on the second round of battle and then takes another 2 rounds. So on the 4th round, you get another weapon hit. So of course I'm going to just upgrade that. I've upgraded that little warp engine because that's just easy. You can see it's already 100 impulse and 44 warp range, which is absolutely great. I think it was 40 and I've upgraded it, so now it's 44. The shields and the weapons, everything is great. And you'll also notice here that there's no impulse engine upgrade part. So that's just completely missing. I don't know if that's as intended by design or not, but ultimately the impulse engines on this are non-existent. So you've just got straight warp then shield, and there's nothing in the top left there to upgrade the engine. This is what it takes to get from tier 1 to tier 2, 65 million trit, 2.2 million dill, and a whole bunch of D3 ore and gas and explorer parts. So not too bad for the first tier. I suppose the trit is going to really, hammer in, is really going to hurt. But ultimately, it's still, I mean, look, it's not that bad when you consider this is the epic ship, as in the biggest ship you can possibly get at the moment. So you know what? Let me take you through it. Let's actually dig in and see how I get it from tier 1 to tier 2 and what it means in terms of power and everything else. Okay, so let's upgrade the Photon Torpedo Bank. Again, 5.6k, min damage 4.6, armor piercing. You can see everything is kind of just shy of a 10% boost. Most of them are kind of okay. Accuracy is almost 10%. It's kind of well, it's actually more like 5%. But the boosts there are not, you're not getting a major boost. So you can see the power on the right there. The strength is just going from, so let me just take it a bit slowly here and just have a look. So critical hit chance, 10%. Usually it's a little bit higher than that. Critical hit damage, 150. So you're getting a little bit less critical hit. Which is kind of okay, I suppose. 540 to 544 for the disruptor banks, 548 for the others. So you're getting a decent amount of upgrade there. You can see again, it's barely when I do compare this to other ships like the Saladin or the Centurion or the Bortus, most of the weapon upgrades in almost any tier, and I say almost because there are exceptions. I don't know how it's calculated in the background and who's actually doing these calculations, but most of the time it is 10%. So if you've got, say, armor pierce, 1700 in there, it would be 170 for the improvement. This, on the other hand, it's a little bit of I don't know how it's really calculated. There must be some working out, especially with I don't think research or anything really plays a role in this. In any case, let me just start to upgrade it. So I've got everything ready here. Let's do it. So the first one will take us to 558. And the second disruptor bank will take us, the second photon torpedo will take us to 577. And now the energy bank, the disruptor bank rather, is 581. Cargo bay I don't think will do much at all, but it will give me a bit extra, and I do need it for a tier. And let me just work through that one. And of course from 581 to 601, the big one, the shields, adds a lot. No impulse engines again. Really sad about that. I'm happy that I don't have to spend on it, but I was hoping for a blazingly fast ship. So let me tier it up. Of course, I'm not going to wait. I can't wait. But you can see there that it doesn't improve any of the weaponry or anything. But I will say that I did notice, and this is after, obviously this is post-production, I'm kind of doing this voiceover for the video, but I did notice that given what she's got, so the primary attribute of the ship or the strength, that went up from 5% to 7%. So you do get a lot of improvements on the core improvement. I haven't checked other ships like the Legionary or the Saladin and what boosts they get. In any case, you can see here what the next level is going to take in terms of tier 2 to tier 3, and it's not cheap. You can definitely see here now that it is 10%. So 5.1k, 6.3k max damage is 6%. But you can see here the power goes down because accuracy is removed by, I'd probably say 5 to 7%, which is incredibly frustrating. So you can see here it says -3%, but the actual accuracy itself is what is impacting that value. So everything goes up except the photon torpedoes, the kinetic, which is just, I don't know if that's by design. I refuse to believe that, some dev out there was saying, well, when we upgrade the Enterprise, it's going to be less accurate when you spend your resources on it. So I firmly believe there is a bug there or a mistake. Obviously, I'd love to reach out to Scopely or get some comment on that, or, some kind of acknowledgement at least that, we're going to have a look into that, knowing that they will look into that. But this is ultimately, obviously I'm taking a screenshot there just to send off to someone and say, hey, what's up with this? But yeah, so cargo bay increased. There's nothing extremely amazing about this. The warp drive is probably what I'm always interested in, because this is going to really increase the range and the missions that I can achieve and the places I can go. And that's pretty much it. So 43 million, the others, yeah. So, all in all, to calculate just how much it's going to take to get to tier 3, it's not cheap. I think from tier 2 to tier 4, based on the data that I have, is going to cost probably somewhere around 300 to 400 million tritanium, which, you know what, even if you buy ship packs, I mean, I really honestly believe that Scopely needs some individual tritanium packs, just elite. Here's, you've got par steel for nearly, 200 or 250 million. Why not have titanium for 200, 250 million? I mean, I'd buy that in a snap, really. So would a lot of others. But you know what? That's that's the world we live in right now. Hopefully it'll change. Yeah. So anyway, let me take you through yet another tier. I am going to go through another tier upgrade. So let me just set that up here. All right, so here's the USS Enterprise again. It is tier 2. I want to know what it's going to take to tier 3, but before I do that, I do want to give a massive shout out, a massive thank you to Stargate Command from our Foundation server. Despite all these conspiracies and the all that talk about how we get comped so much data and we resources, and we know all these Scopely contacts and all that. That's not always the case. We don't always just get, we don't just get resources gifted to us willy-nilly, just hundreds of millions of tritanium and all that. A lot of people like to think so, but really what's happened here is Stargate Command has helped me get some tritanium from him by raiding his base. He did get compensated some time ago for no reason, really. He hasn't really spent much on the game, so he's not sure how he got like 2-point-something billion tritanium. So he let me have a little bit of that so that I can make this video. So I don't know how to thank you enough, Stargate Command, but you know what? That's one day if I do make some ad revenue, I will definitely be throwing some of that your way. So let's have a look here of what it's going to take. So you can see here already the max damage. Everything is sitting at an improvement of 10% nearly, except for the accuracy, which drops. And again, I really do believe this is a bug, and it's kind of infuriating because we're talking about the USS Enterprise here, right? Everything is was 10% in the last, I think, 1 or 2 tiers, but this is kind of just puzzling me because I don't know if there's something a little bit off about the Enterprise. I certainly think so. So 5, 6.3. I'm just looking at these numbers, thinking this it's not quite adding up to what you get with other ships when you try to upgrade their weaponries. So that is definitely 10%. The max damage, we're expecting 110. Yeah, that's roughly 10%. So there's a lot of improvements here. You can see on the right there as well the overall improvements, and not one bit at a time, but the overall improvements from upgrading this particular part in terms of the overall addition of extra damage and accuracy and shield pierce and all that. So I do want to just have a look quickly at at another ship. So if I do have a look at this, you can see, wow, that's definitely bad. That's not 10%. That's like more like, yeah, that's near 0% really, or 0.1%. So maybe I was wrong. Maybe some of the other ships, the commons and the uncommons, don't really get that much of a boost. And of course, you have a look at something like this, you're getting even more than a 10% boost in some of these cases. So, you're expecting 1,300 for max damage, you're getting 2,000, you're expecting, 1,400 for shield pierce, you're getting almost twice that amount. So, yeah, maybe we are looking at a case where the Enterprise is maybe it'll be treated a little bit more fairly in the later tiers. We won't know until I get there, so why not just keep tiering up when possible? I don't know. I just can't get over the fact that there's an Enterprise in the shipyard. Really, that's I again don't care just how weak or strong it is right now. I mean, I'll care later after spending all the resources on it. But let's go through the upgrade and go from tier 2. It's 602 right now. Power 602K rather. I want to see what's going to happen once I upgrade it. So here we go. Let me just having a look and documenting some of this stuff. So I'm actually going to be putting the total amount needed to upgrade. Here it is. So that's upgrading the shields. I'm going to upgrade the cargo bay. So again, from 602 to 633. Obviously, it's going to go back down because of those negative, I'm going to call them bugs myself because oversight rather. So it was at 602, now 633. Upgrading the disruptor bank, 639. That's not buggy, that one, but the next two obviously will take it back down. So from 639 back down to, come on, no, I'm having a look at it again. I'm obviously doing a voiceover after the fact, so this video is being recorded already. But let me just upgrade these anyway, and let's have a look here. So, okay, here we go. So the second photon torpedo bank down to 632 from 639, and 626 now. If I upgrade this one or downgrade, I don't know which one I'm doing exactly here, but there we go. I'm just going to write these down. I'm making a note of these whilst we're obviously making the video. I should have done that afterwards, but I just wanted to, kind of just get some idea. Of course, I'm not going to wait for another tier. Again, the 5 days here, so let's push past this and off we go. Now, I will make a note that the other thing that will be upgraded, obviously you get these cargo, protected cargo and max level and all that. So basically the amount of crew and bridge crew that you can add. But the primary attribute, which is giving everything she's got or whatever it's named, you can see it in the background there, giving what she's got rather. That will also increase. So I think it went from 5 in the first tier to 7 in the second tier to 10 in the third tier. So obviously, as you go up, it's gone up about, well, I guess it's 2.5 or so each time. So it is going up. Now you can see here what the fourth, rather to go to the fourth tier it's going to take. Obviously a little bit more titanium, which I haven't got. Accuracy down again if we upgrade the photon torpedo banks, which is incredibly infuriating. There's definitely a 10% boost again. So now that's back a little bit. Let me just, I've accidentally kind of, let me just load up Notepad here just to make a note of all of the little bits and bobs that are going to come up. So there we go. I'm just making a note of all of the details. Maybe I can fast forward some of this just to give you guys a little bit of a clue into the total amount that we're going to need here. All right, so going through each one, I'm just making a note here. Phaser Bank 1, photon torpedo. I keep calling it Phaser Bank. I don't know why, but photon torpedo. I guess I'm just used to the shows where I keep hearing phasers. But in any case, photon torpedoes. There we go. So I'm just making a note of them. Obviously, I could pass this on to anyone who wants to. I know there's other servers with other enterprises out there. So if anyone is keen or wants to know what it's going to take, sometimes it helps because you're kind of, you want to purchase a pack or so, and you're thinking, how far is this really going to take me? How many resources is it really going to take to get to that next tier or not? Is it worth trying in the first place or not? So this kind of helps in making that kind of decision, especially when, if someone actually wants to spend on a pack, then that really does just really influence what happens next. But you can see here in terms of the total amount required in titanium, that's usually my go-to thing. Everything else I can get easily. I mean, not easily, it's a grind, but titanium is impossible. I mean, I don't know how you can get that even with grinding. It's nearly impossible. So 218 million titanium is what we're going to need here. Now, it's a big amount, but, That's basically dilithium from combat missions, and parsil you won't really need. The rest is probably something you can grind out through the refineries and so on. But in any case, that is basically it. So we haven't actually gone up a big amount in terms of power. I suspect that it's tier 4 and 5 that really do the damage here, but obviously I'm going to need a lot more common and uncommon to keep showcasing the Enterprise as it grows. Obviously all my resources are going to be poured into this, and perhaps a miner, one or two strong miners and a big ship is basically always been my game. So in any case, I hope you enjoyed this. I really urge you to subscribe, and if you don't want to subscribe, just click anyway and close your eyes when, you know, the links come through and your mobile gets a notification or whatnot. But subscribe so we can keep these videos going. Again, one more time, epic thanks to Stargate Command, who really helped this video. Without your help, I would not have been able to make this video at all.